Hello everyone. This is a paper presented during the online conference organized by the Regional Institute of English, South India, Bangalore. I'm Dr. Praveen. I'm a teacher educator. What I'm presenting here is a kind of review of the kind of learning that took place during the COVID-19 compelled online teacher education. Certain disruption and acquisition of procedural knowledge was identified during the online pedagogy, and for which some pragmatic solutions are being suggested in this paper. Please read this. This is the UN policy brief. The National Education Policy document. There is a specific reference to the use of computers and procedural knowledge. Please read. Now, during the COVID-19 pandemic, the teacher educators were forced to teach online and they did not have any prior training. Now, we know that in colleges of teacher education, like in all other colleges, there is transmission of knowledge, but more importantly, there is transaction, that is, the teacher educator interacts with the student teacher. Sometimes the teacher educator models certain skills, the trainee tries to imitate it, sometimes in actual school setting. Then some kind of a refinement of the skill of the trainee takes place, and ultimately a kind of transformation. The problem is, during the online pedagogy, teacher trainees did not go to the school for actual training, which means their own procedural knowledge, the transaction of procedural knowledge, was affected. What is the main problem faced by the student teachers? There were accessibility issues. They did not have internet connections, and some of them couldn't afford it either. And there were also mental health issues. So what is the solution being proposed here? Make use of WhatsApp because they have a smartphone. It's an affordable tool. Attempt synchronous and asynchronous learning using WhatsApp. And of course, you can make use of OERs, open education resources, videos, PowerPoint, images, PDF, etc. These have to be adapted and presented in small chunks with some kind of an activity. This was attempted as part of the study. Okay, what is being illustrated is teaching the topic called assessment. So first, they are shown an infographic which mentions that there are learning goals and there is a relationship between activity and assessment and the types of assessment they see. And they also realize that knowledge can be tested through oral tests, pen and paper tests, multiple choice tests, true, false, very short answers. Whatever is available in the knowledge domain can be tested. Now, how do you check understanding of concepts? Maybe through oral or written explanations, or you can ask them to draw a flow chart, a diagram, or a concept map, ask a short answer type question, and so on. But then when it comes to performance, okay, you can make use of oral and written, visual or kinesthetic modes. A combination of this can be made use of. Now, remember the topic being taught is assessment. The trainees did not go to school where they could have seen real samples of written student work. So what the investigator did was presented them samples like these. On the top you see a written work by a student with mistakes. Then they are asked, what are the mistakes made? How do you correct it? Again, on the right you have a writer based on a drawing. And again, the trainees are asked to check the language. Again, on the bottom left you see an answer script where the teachers awarded only 0 marks. Now the teacher trainees asked why the teacher gave only 0 marks. And then, as you all know, the University of Michigan has uploaded a very good video on self and peer assessment. This is played and questions are posed, and they get a fairly good understanding of what is involved in assessment. Now, this is just an illustration of using the WhatsApp. As you can see, the class begins at 11 a.m. It's synchronous teaching using WhatsApp. The initial rapport building happens, and by 11:03 the topic is presented. Here, as you know, the topic is assessment. And then, as you can see, in small chunks, explanations are given, and then they ask whether they are able to follow. Questions are posed, they respond. Then again, a sample written work is given. They are asked to respond, identify the errors in the written work. So what is happening here is when the students were learning online, many were not able to connect because internet facility was either not available or it was not affordable. So using WhatsApp, the smartphone, the teacher educator is trying to connect. So online learning and continuation of learning happens. Okay, so this is the message. My life isn't about waiting. It's about learning how to dance in the rain. Please read the full paper for a complete understanding of the attempt made by the investigator to transact procedural knowledge or to refine procedural knowledge in the online mode. Thank you.